Hello, what I'm going to show you in this video is how to change this standard wheelhead 15mm radiator valve over to a thermostatic radiator valve without draining hardly any water from the system. Now how we're going to do that, there's two parts of the valve that we have to isolate to get the valve off. One is the inlet here and the other one is the part of the water that's coming out of the radiator into this side. Now if you look in the bottom here, we've got a foam wrap from a freezing kit which you can obtain from your plumbers merchants. Full instructions how to use that, or how to freeze the pipe there, which will stop the water coming up into this point. So we've already done that, that's frozen off. Now we need to stop the water coming out of the radiator into the valve itself. Now how we're going to do that is, first of all, close the radiator off at the other end. That will isolate the radiator from the system. The next thing to do is open the bleed valve on the radiator to let any excess pressure out, and then, important, close the valve off, make sure that it's closed off. The next thing you do is we're going to get one half of the rad clamp set here and fit a clamp to the corner, one clamp to the corner of the radiator, and I'll show you how we're going to keep the water inside the radiator. Now the next thing to do is get your rad spanner and just slacken off the nuts, slacken off the bottom one there. Just slacken it very loosely, and then undo. Get your rad spanner and your rad wrench to hold the valve steady, and undo the nut between there. Just slacken it off. Now at this point in time, nothing's going to come out. Now how we're going to stop the water coming out of there, we're going to use this thin rubber membrane seal. Now if you look down the end of it there, you can see it's very thin, so that will go inside the gap very easily. And the principle of this is, if you look at this bottle of water here, you'll see the top of the bottle is about the same diameter as a normal tailpiece that's protruding out the end of the radiator. So just to show you how it works, if you put the rubber membrane over the bottle and then put it to the side, just like the red, you can see it's holding the water in. There's not a single drop coming out of there, and that's how we're going to do it. Oh, by the way, just to show you that it's not a trick bottle, there's the water coming out of there. So that's that. So like I said, the next thing to do, we've got this loose now, is to insert the slide rod inside the clamp. So that's going left to right, just leave that there for now. Now we know this is slackened off, so don't panic, by the way, when you're doing this, because when you undo this, the water won't gush out. It'll just try to dribble out because you've got the vacuum in the radiator holding the water in. That's why I said it's so important to close off the bleed valve once you've let the pressure out. So what we're going to do is slacken off that valve, loosen. You might get a few drips here, so I suggest you put a bit of a cloth underneath to catch any drips. Sometimes you don't get any drips at all, but it's very quick to do this. If you watch this now, I'll just quickly insert that in there, and that's it now. I'm holding it over the end like I was with the bottle, so there's no panic. And the next thing to do is pull the rod across and just line that up inside all instructions inside this kit, by the way. Line it up inside the fork there and pull the whole thing that way, push it over that way, and then tighten up the pinch bolt there. So now we know that that's holding the water inside the radiator, and there's a gap there. So we know this is frozen up here, so there's nothing going to come out. Now just to check, just turn the valve on gently. You can see there's nothing coming out, so we know that is absolutely frozen off. Now we need to take the valve off, so carry on undoing the nut at the bottom. It's now finger tight. And take that off. You see the water bobbing up and down inside there. So that's that taken off. Now when you do this, you must check that there's two types of tail pieces. There's the 3/4 type, which is that one, and the 1/2 inch one, which is that one. And these usually are always connected to the TRVs, the thermostatic radiator valves, so we can leave that one inside there and reconnect it to this. Same thing with the inlet nut. We know it's 15mm. We can take the nut and olive off there, and we're going to use the existing one on here. Now we need to put it back, refit it. So you simply drop the valve on top there, finger tight with the nut at the bottom. It's also worth bearing in mind that when you put the freezer kit on, you've got about 45 minutes of working time, maybe an hour depending on the temperature of the room. So you've got to be reasonably quick. So get everything set out before you start this. Now that's on there, and we can swivel that about. Now we need to reconnect it to the tailpiece of the radiator, which is still full of water. Now it's just as quick to reconnect as it is to disconnect. What you do is you line it up and just got play in the pipe, just pull it back like that and hold it off. Then release the pinch bolt, you can see, and that'll take the strain off. Pull that back, take it out very quickly and push that on. Now the panic's over again. No panic, just screw that on finger tight, get your rad spanner and just tighten that on like that, slightly cross-threaded there. It's on now. Tighten that up. So the TRV is now fitted. Use your the two ends of the rad wrench. One's a thinner end for the standard wheel head valves, and the other thicker end is for the thicker bodied TRVs. So put that on there, pull up with the rad wrench and down with the spanner, holding that in line. There you go, that's tightened up there now. Don't forget this one at the bottom now, that's loose. Just give that with your rad spanner, just tighten that up, hold the valve and tighten it up like that. Now remove your rad clamp, put that back in the kit, ready for next time. Pack all your kit away. Now the next thing to do is open the valve at the other end, and that will let water back into the radiator and over and flood the valve here. You can check if you've got any leaks. Once you realise you've got no leaks, snip off the tyre wires on here, take that off, and just leave that to thaw out on its own time. It'll probably take about half an hour to thaw. After that's been done, let's say there's no refilling of the system, you've not lost anything at all. Just put the system on, run it hot, dry around these joints here and check it's okay. A freezer kit will normally cost you about £20, I would imagine, to do one pipe. But if you bear in mind that if you drain the system to fit this, you're going to lose all your inhibitors, your additives, which can cost £25–30 at a time. Plus, not to mention the loss of water and the time and messing about that you've got to go. So to do this is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best way of doing it. Get a freezer kit. If you've got enough pipe to get the sleeve on there, do it this way. The rad clamp kit, of course, that's one half of the rad clamp kit. That's actually designed to take the radiator off with the water inside. Of course, if you put a rad clamp both ends of the radiator, you can see that you can take the radiator off full of water, do your work, plastering, tiling, refixing brackets, insulating, painting, whatever behind the radiator. Put the radiator back and reconnect it as I've just shown you there. You don't lose any water that way either. I'm going to do another video actually later on about how to take a radiator off with the water still inside. Sorry, the water still inside. That's up and coming. So there you go. Change the radiator valve. No draining. Easy as that. Thanks for watching.